Hey there, Russ here. Welcome back to the shop. Okay, today I want to show you how to freehand drill any angle hole that you want to drill into a piece of wood. There's a lot going on here, so I thought maybe I would take for a change, do a video on showing you how to do something with minimum of tools. But I will tell you, first off, before I do anything, a new channel, Samcraft. I just found him. He's on my feature channels on my YouTube homepage. You can go there and get it off there if you want, or just put in small Samcraft, one word, and you'll find him easy enough. Great little channel. He's a small shop like this, a lot younger. He does a lot of wood turning, I suspect, and it looks like. And he also, sorry about that. He also does craft shows and things like that. So he does a lot of small crafts that he makes. So I plan on having a good conversation with that guy, because I used to do a lot of that sort of thing too. And I have some things I can probably relate to him if he's interested. He'll probably learn to say, oh God, him again, before I'm done. I've already been commenting to him on some stuff. Anyway, check him out. But the other thing I want to tell you is that this particular video about drilling angles, it actually was inspired again. I did a video on it a couple of years ago called Drilling Holes the Right Way. And I used the spade bit, paddle bit, and trying to hold the paddle bit like this at exactly what your angle to drill straight down, because it was around drilling bench dog holes is what it was around, having to do that. And you can't do it on the drill press, but you're critical. You want your hole to be exactly vertical. So that's what that was based on. But the guy that I was talking to had mentioned to me that he, from another previous video, I think, about Forstner bits, and he was trying to drill his bench dog holes using a Forstner bit. And if anybody that uses Forstner bits knows, you take a Forstner bit out of the drill press, it's a pain. It's a real pain to drill with it through a big chunk of wood. You just aren't going to do it. Too much heat. So if you're freehand drilling, a paddle bit is a much better way to go. But controlling the angle on the paddle bit is a bit of a challenge. So let me show you how I can do that, because I can drill a hole and hit it 100 out of 100 times the exact angle that I want, whether it's 90 degrees, 45 degrees, or any angle. It doesn't matter. I'll be able to do that using nothing more than freehand and my drill. Now, here we want to make a clarification. I'm not using just any drill. I'm using this drill. And the reason this drill is special is because of that. That has a little bubble right there that tells you when you're exactly plumb drilling. So when you stand up and I look down at that and I drill straight into something, I know it's going to be at 90 degrees. It's going to be exactly plumb. Now, I don't know if it's plumb to my bench top. I just know that it's plumb to the world. Level is actually based not on the horizon like people say. Level is actually based on gravity. Means that it's based on vertical force. So plumb is really, level is based off of plumb. It's that simple. So plumb is the true beginning of what is level or plumb or any angle. It really comes off of 90 degrees because it's the gravity force that determines that angle to begin with. And so with that in mind, this bubble gives you a true plumb when you're drilling with anything here. And a paddle bit does a great job of that, because the point goes in, it doesn't wander. That thing will keep that baby going straight. As long as I am in line here perfectly with this bit, and that I am truly, this is all on the same plane. If it is, then when I turn it this way and use that bubble, I will get a true straight in, and this is my point that I'm going, and I guide that back here. So it makes it easy. It's pretty easy to drill an exact angle hole using this bit. It's just a matter of taking your wood and setting it to the exact angle that you want and having to hold in that position. And you're talking about referencing that angle off of plumb, not off of level. So anyway, so keep that in mind. Whenever you're going to be doing this method, remember, you're really looking at what is plumb, not what is level. And when you reference things to be level, it can affect what you're doing. So you got to pay attention when you're using this method. Let me show you an example. So let's say that I want to drill a hole exactly 90 degrees on this piece of wood here. I've already done it a few times. I just wanted to do this a few times to practice before I showed you this, to make sure that I had it straight in my head. So anyway, I would take this and I would clamp this down right here. Then I would take my drill and I put it right here wherever I want to drill the hole. Make sure that I'm plumb, watch my hole, everything's clamped down, and then I just start pushing straight down, drilling, keeping that bubble plumb. And then when I get done, like I said, I did this one before I started, but I did it using this method. And as you can see, it's plumb. And so it's not hard to drill a hole plumb freehand. It takes a little practice. Don't think you're going to go out there and hit it 100 out of 100 times. You'll probably hit it 9 out of 10 times or 8 out of 10 times to begin with. With a little practice, you'll finally figure out the little tricks that you have to do and the innuendos and the feel that you'll be able to do it dead on every time using that bubble. So, but it's a great little tool to have in your shop, because the drilling freehand, any angle you want, can be very handy at times. So I showed you how you could easily do a 90 degree. So what if you want to do a 45? Well, one way I could do it, not the only way, but one way I could do it is bring my, yes, that's my donkey's hair, bring that over here to my workbench, set it down, and clamp it to my workbench. Like so. And I would double clamp it. Then I can take my piece and put it on here. Now, I am now at 45 theoretically, so that I can drill a 90 degree hole again using my drill bit and my bubble. I can drill this hole at a 45 degree by setting it up on my bench like this. But you have to remember, are you at a 45 degree to plumb, or are you at a 45 degree from that bench top? So if that bench top is not level, then this is not going to be a true 45 degree, because this bubble it works off of being perfectly plumb to gravity. So you always have to make sure that you're referencing that way on anything you set up. So if I want to use this method, I got to make sure my bench that I'm using is also perfectly level to do this method, to hit that 45. But I can do it. But there is another way. Plus, if I wanted to do another angle, a 30 degree angle, or a 27.5, whatever the angle is, if I wanted to, for some reason, I needed to drill some holes at that angle, how would I do that? I don't want to build a donkey's ear at 27.5 degrees. That would just be a pain and overkill. And I'd never use it maybe more than once. So to drill the holes, a lot of times, rather than using my donkey's ear, makes it easy. As long as I know I'm flat and plumb, I can set this on my workbench, tie it down, and I can put things on here, and I'll know that I'll hit that 45 without doing any measuring, which is what's nice. So, but if I do any angle that I really want to do, the easiest way to do it is with a regular vise. Or you can use your face vise. You can use any vise that you have. I'm going to set this up here. This is my Xylus. And this is so you can see how I can do it. If I had a face vise, then my piece, instead of setting this way in the vise, it would set this way in the vise for me to do my drilling. So you can use a face vise to do this, any kind of vise. But what you want to do is put your piece in the jaws of the vise and let it hang out. Let me bring this down. Let this hang out this way. And now when I put this in here and I snug this down, this piece, I can set the angle to where I want it. So in order to set this angle now, I don't care whether I'm level on any of this. All I need to do is know that I am plumb to vertical. So that's why I like to use this gauge right here. Now you can use a digital gauge if you want, but you got to make sure that it's calibrated to 0 to that. So you got to make sure that this is already set to calibrated to 0 properly, so that when you put it at a 45, you will get that 45 reading. With this, you don't have to do that because it is always referencing plumb. That's what this level does. It's a great little level. They're handy to have around. Last time I saw them, it was like less than 20 bucks. But I don't know what they cost. There's probably different brands out there. But this thing is actually a very handy thing to have around the shop. If I put this on here, I now can sit here and move this thing until I get to 45 degrees. And when I'm set to 45 degrees, I now know that I'm 45 degrees to plumb. So if I take and snug this down a quarter of a turn, now when I put the drill bit on here and I start pushing down and drilling this, as long as this thing doesn't move, you're good to go. You can see that this vise, I have a little bit of a problem because as soon as I start pushing down here, it's going to move on me. So we can fix that problem in 2 seconds. If you watched my video a while back, a couple years ago, about holding power, there's a series of 3 of them. Just do a search on my channel on holding power and you'll see them. But basically, if I take 2 pieces of sandpaper here and it's folded over and glued back to back so it's double-sided sandpaper, I can take these and just hold them on each side of my wood, put it in my vise where I want it, and snug it down just enough that I can still move it a little bit. I can set this where I want it, set the angle I want. Now when I tighten it down and I go that quarter turn, now this thing isn't going to move on me. And now I can take my drill and push down and drill on it. So holding power. Check out those videos if you haven't seen them to see how I use that little trick to do my angle drilling. But in all reality, the nice thing about this is that when you do this, doing it in the vise is the easiest way to do it. Then all you have to do is set this angle to whatever angle you want. And when you're ready to drill the hole, then you just drill to plumb. And it makes it easy peasy to drill any angle hole you want. So, that's it in a nutshell. You can give it a try. If you don't have one of these, I'll leave a link where I've seen a couple of these around. I'll leave a link. I think Amazon sells both of these things, but if not, wherever it is, I'll leave the link to it. But it's a great little tool to have in your shop. So the bubble, you must have. So, and then you have to be very careful that if you're going to put your own on there, that you make sure that it's truly plumb to the plane of your drill bit. So that takes a little bit of careful figuring out to do that. If you need help figuring out how to set one up, a bubble like that on this, let me know. And if I get enough requests, then I'll do a video. I'll buy one of those bubbles and I'll take my new drill and I'll put one on here, which I think would probably be a good thing, so that I then have a bubble on here for leveling, for doing. Because I always grab this drill right here, and I'll tell you the truth, I don't really like this drill. And so I stopped using it for anything other than drilling angles. But I don't like it because this chuck is really crummy chuck. The new chucks are much better than the new Ryobis. So, and since it's the only one I have right now with the bubble, I try not to use it unless I have to, because if something happens to this drill, then I can't drill holes this easy. So anyway, if you have any questions about anything I've got going over here, you can let me know. I hope I didn't ramble on too much, but it is pretty easy to drill holes. I drilled these holes and they were right on. I drilled this 45 freehand earlier before I was on there too. And again, this one is dead on here. And it's dead on here too. So I can get this. If I glued this in place, I can get this perfectly glued in place. Now, because this is a sloppy hole, yes, it does move. But it's in the range of Plumb, of being right at 90 degrees. So you can hit that 90-degree hole. Also, I did it with a paddle bit. A paddle bit is not going to give you your best hole. There's no doubt about it. But most of the time, if I'm going to glue something in there, I don't really care. I kind of prefer that slop until I get it glued in and set. But if I wanted this as a bench dog, you want it to be like this anyway, so that you can put things in and out easily for your attachments. So whatever the hole is for, as long as you hit that angle, you can do it freehand. You don't have to do it on the vise. So give it a try. If you have any questions or any little techniques that make this job even easier, let me know. But drilling holes at an angle, freehand, easy peasy. So you just got to put your OTB hat on. And if you do, this is easy. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. If you have questions as you're going through this, just leave me a comment on it. And I'm always around, so you can just get a hold of me and I'll usually contact you back pretty quickly. And if it's something that we need to do, or if I need to make a video out of it, I'll make a video, even if it's for one. So everybody else can enjoy it. Because actually, my video on drilling those bench dog holes the right way, that was actually made and designed for one person, that video. So, and it was just one method of how to drill holes straight. Here is how you can drill a hole any angle. Big difference. So anyway, now I'm rambling. So I appreciate that you came by here. Comments, ideas, suggestions, leave them down below. Any new ideas that you want me to talk about. If you like this video or you learned something here, hit that like button. It makes a big difference to YouTube when I get that thing triggered. So I appreciate your help on that. Most importantly though, come back again, because I'm nowhere near done. Thanks. And we'll see you again very soon. Bye.